Yes, good morning. It is my favourite time of the week. It is Monday and it's fitness fragrance review time. And what are we reviewing today? Well, it's one of my brother's new purchases. It's this one by Zara. It's called Saffron and Orange Flowers. I'm sure these names are getting more and more complicated as we go on. But yes, this is one that my brother bought the other day. And if you ever go in like a Zara shop, there's always that one fragrance that's really good. You tend to get a load of them that are really generic and really boring, a bit of the vibrant leather ones, which are nice, but just become very generic. There's always a gem, and this seems to be the one that we found the other day that is a gem. And what I really like as well, I don't think Zara have really done this much before, it's got a magnetic lid as well. It looks like a bit of a top hat on the top, doesn't it? But yes, Saffron and Orange Flowers by Zara. Definitely a unisex type fragrance, eau de parfum concentration. Can't wait to review it today. So if you haven't seen these fitness fragrance reviews, essentially I do a morning workout. So I go for a run, walk to the gym, do a gym workout, walk back, all while reviewing a fragrance. And I'll rank it on 5 categories today. So it'll be its price / value for money, its versatility, so how much you can use it in different situations. We'll look at its projection, how much I noticed during my run, obviously I've just sprayed the top, how much it feels like my room later. We'll look at compliment factor and also its versatility. So what I'm going to quickly do though before all that, we're going to go into the note breakdown. What is actually in Saffron and Orange Flowers? Clue's probably in the name. So I've got my old phone here with me. We're going to look at the note breakdown here. So what does this fragrance smell like? Well, the top notes in this, bergamot, orange, green notes and saffron. Obviously saffron's a huge selling point of this. I tend to find saffron adds a bit of spice to fragrances when I've had it before. Got a lot of old school fragrances, almost just brings that little bit of spicy floral component, and I think that's really what this is going to be today. But yeah, bergamot, orange, green notes, a fresh opening, and that's the main thing I'm detecting when you first spray this fragrance. Very clean, very fresh, and then that sort of floral component kicks in just a little bit after, a couple of seconds after, and you can see that from the heart. You've got jasmine and yang yang. I certainly think this is more of a feminine smell when you smell it in the opening, clean washing type vibe, and it just feels like a nice spring morning, a really nice time when the transition season's begun. We're moving out of the winter and it's warming up, and you maybe put the washing on the line. That's that kind of vibe, and all the flowers are blossoming, and you get woodsy notes and musk in the base. Woodsy notes tie the fragrance together, because floral components in fragrances and spicy components can be quite harsh and quite aggressive on your nose. Those woodsy notes just tie it all together, make it feel a little bit smoother, less rough around the edges, and I do detect that. And then again, going back to it, the musk in this feels very clean. There is a very much clean washing smell. If this was a washing powder, and I mean that in the nicest possible way, you wouldn't be surprised. It's very pleasant. My mum actually said the other day when she sort of smelled my brother trying it on, she said, oh, it smells like a really nice room spray in here. It does have that clean washing laundry vibe that you'd want to spray in a room or on clothing. And yeah, the woodsy notes I do think also do bring a masculine edge. So things like sandalwood I think will be in this. Definitely brings that more masculine edge, but it certainly is completely unisex, leaning more feminine. That's what I'm getting, but we'll talk about that in more detail today. But essentially, as I said, it's all about that saffron and the orange blossom. The orange blossom here is really prominent, but it's not a sharp orange at all. That blossom again, floral component, and it's very pleasant. It's a nice soft orange with a nice clean muskiness in the background. That's the main things I'm detecting more than the spice at the minute. But yeah, let's head outside then. Let's do our run. Looking that's going to be dry up until around lunchtime today, so it should be okay for my run. So we're going to do the first 2 categories: price / value for money and versatility. I'll see you out there. We are off and another review begins. So today it is Zara Saffron Orange Flowers. Confusing names. Anyway, $35.99 is the price you saw on Zara's website for 200ml bottles. I find this really strange how they're selling this though. 200ml bottles of exactly the same fragrance in a twin pack. Normally what they do is they release an original and then they put a flanker in as a twin pack. So why don't they just release a 200ml bottle for this if it's the same fragrance? Anyway, it's essentially for 100ml, £18. Do I think that's good value for money for this? I really do. I think that's excellent value for money. Now I've said it smells like air freshener, it smells like a sort of clean washing, and it does have that sort of shampoo smell as well. And again, I mean this in the best possible sense. Really the words I should be looking for are light, airy, approachable, calming, and that's what this is. It's just one you can't really dislike. It's just clean, and I've always said sometimes just smelling clean is great. I was worried that this one, the saffron, would be too heavy, too spicy, and the florals in general, because florals can be super heavy, but it's not. It's a very light floral with some freshness in the top, And that orange blossom is certainly prominent in this. It's very nice and sweet, and the bergamot I think complements it well as well. It just adds that nice freshness to tone down the spiciness and those heavy floral components alongside those woods in the base. So all round it's got that nice approachable feel. I feel like it's someone who's well put together, whereas this, look, it doesn't smell super natural like an Active Palmer, but it doesn't need to. It's not aggressive, but it's got enough of a punch about it where I think on a cooler day or early spring, which is what we're approaching now, it works perfectly. You can dress it up, you can dress it down. We'll talk about obviously versatility more in a minute, but it does have that feeling of signature scent potential because it's got a lot of complexity about it, you know, floral components, fresh components, woodsy components, and a little bit of spice in there as well. So I think if you're getting all of that for £18, a relatively complex fragrance which is easy to pull off, you can't moan about the price, can you? So I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. Excellent fragrance. And for my brother, who again has tried a lot of fragrances, for that one to really stand out, and he's actually bought that twin pack, so hopefully when it comes I'll be able to tell you if it is really two of the same bottle. It says a lot to me. So yeah, 100% really happy with that. 9.5 out of 10. On to versatility. Okay then, so on to versatility. How much can you dress this one up, dress this one down? Different ages, different occasions, different seasons, all those things. Well, I've already touched on the fact I think this is a signature scent because of the complexity. The fact it's got fresh notes, floral notes, woodsy notes, some spice in there. It's very much one though that I think is great for transition. You know, it's spring day, it's a little bit of a breeze this morning, and it does smell, we'll talk about projection later, but I've got this nice clean washing smell coming across my nose from that breeze. So a nice spring breezy morning is perfect, and I think for a 30-year-old woman, if I'm being stereotypical, that's where it's going to work best. I think an older gentleman will not find this has enough aggressive. It's not an alpha male type scent, and it's not someone who wants to be a bit more brash, a bit more, you know, seductive, let's say. It's not a date night type scent. And I think a younger person would want something maybe a little bit more in your face, you know, a bit more rebellious, let's say. Whereas this is definitely more subtle, but it packs enough of a punch that people will notice it. It's that one where you want people to notice your scent without making it obvious that you do. I think it's going to draw people in. I think it's one that, again, you can certainly wear in an office or a networking event, and you can definitely wear it at home just for yourself as well, because it's very light and airy and just clean, and it makes you smell clean. Certainly a scent you want to wear when you come out of the shower. It's not one for me for a gym environment particularly, but it wouldn't be horrible for it as long as you tone your sprays down. Look, I find when fragrances have like cherry blossom, or in this phrase orange blossom, they're definitely a little bit lighter on the florals. They're not those heavy ones like rose, where they can be really in your face. And rose absolute, you know, it's not like that. So as long as you only do 3 or 4 sprays, I think it'd be absolutely fine for gym situations, job interviews. Look, it can pretty much be used anywhere. I really do believe that. I just think a younger and an older man particularly may find this not as playful or not as macho as they may want it, but other than that, I think you can rock this anytime. 20 to 50 years old, absolutely go for it. So I'm going to say this is a super versatile scent. I'm going to give it another 9.5. I think it's a brilliant fragrance. It's just maybe those younger and older men particularly may find this a little bit harder, and I just wouldn't choose it for those date night situations. But other than that, go for it. Top scent. When we get back, we will talk about projection. How much am I noticing it during my run? And do I think it's going to do well in the room spray test? Early spoiler, yes I do. Run done. I still got the name of the fragrance wrong while I was out there. It's Saffron and Orange Flowers. I think I said Saffron and Orange Blossom. But anyway, who cares? It's that fragrance that we're talking about. So it's time to now test for projection. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to spray my room 5 times with this fragrance because it's not mine. Normally I'd spray 10, but it's my brother's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm testing for projection. So if you haven't seen this before, essentially I want to see how much the fragrance fills up a room. So say you were in a work office, a colleague came in, would they notice it? If I'm at home, would friends or family potentially notice it? And yeah, just essentially, will it fill a room to the point that someone goes, oh yeah, that's really nice. What I'm going to do as well in the meantime, while I let that sit, I'm going to give it about 10 minutes, go down, have a cup of coffee, talk about how much I noticed it during my runs. How much did the fragrance project during my workout? I've already given you a bit of a spoiler, haven't I? It was pretty good. Let's go have a coffee. Oh, that is so nice. I love black coffee. But let's not talk about black coffee. Let's talk about projection during my run for Saffron and Orange Flowers. How much did I notice this Zara fragrance? Well, as I said, absolutely low, right up until I put the key in the door to come home. I smelt it the whole way through. But what is really nice with this, I can't think of many fragrances better where projection, that you can get projection really wrong. Sometimes really loud projection can be almost too cloying for yourself to the point you hate fragrances. There's certain scents I hate just because they are so strong and it's quite divisive. And also on that sense, if there's other ones you do like, I mean, there's some amazing ones. Tobacco vanilla I think is super strong, but sometimes it could be almost obnoxious to someone else. For me, I love it. This one though strikes that real balance between the two. It's strong enough to notice it, but it's also quite subtle as well. It's not really in your face aggressive, but people around you will notice it without it ever being too cloying, too obnoxious. And that is absolutely amazing. I can't think of anything better. If I had to sort of compare this to other brands, I almost feel like this could be a Prada fragrance. It's got that nice soapy, lipsticky, clean washing vibe about it. And it's honestly hit the sweet spot for that projection. So far, it's amazing. I can only speak from experience. When my brother's had it, he tends to sit at the sofa by the side of the lounge door. But when I came in the room the other day, it filled up a room. I thought it was a room spray. Then I found out it was this fragrance. So I'm expecting quite a lot here for the room spray test. So I'm going to finish this coffee, we'll head upstairs, and then we can give an overall score on projection. We go look at my hair. I'm getting a haircut today though. I cannot wait. 20 past 1, so I need to be quick to get to the gym. Yeah, it's filling a room. Look, it's not really strong, but again, it isn't that sort of strong fragrance. But this is, I'm not just saying this, the best projection I've ever smelt on a fragrance. To hit that sweet spot between not being too overpowering, but also enough to notice it. Zara, you've done it again. Zara always has one gem in their collection. And I think at the moment, looking at it, this seems to be the most recent one. Really impressed. And just for the fact I noticed it so much on my run, I'm going to do something I very rarely do. I'm going to give it an 11 out of 10 because this is as good as I've ever smelled. And I've just got to be honest with that. The projection on this is amazing. And it will get noticed without ever being overpowering to the point you're sick of it or anyone else around you. As you could wear this into the office today and people are going to say good things all day about you, whether you're just walking by them or if you're just sitting down, because sometimes fragrances, they don't particularly have that great sillage. This one I think has got the real balance, great trail, but also one that will fill a room if you're just static for most of the day. So 11 out of 10, amazing. We're going to head to the gym now. We'll talk about compliment factor on the way. How much do I think this fragrance can get compliments? Do I think it's a great compliment getting fragrance? And is it one that I'd recommend buying just for that sole reason? On to compliment factor for saffron and orange flowers. Do I think this is a compliment getting fragrance? 100% I do. You would have seen I sprayed miles before I left for the gym. Obviously that's for our longevity test later. But what I'm noticing is outside in the air, it's really just kicking up as well. Look, I think this is definitely more of an indoorsy type fragrance because I think that's when you're going to really get noticed in terms of compliments. But I would not be surprised if someone walked by and stopped and said, oh, that's really nice, because it's such a pleasant, soft orange. And a fragrance I can compare it to, more because of the cherry blossom in that one, this obviously is orange blossom, is Sakura by Acqua di Parma. It's got that clean, soft floral component, and it's just absolutely so easy to pull off. And what it is, it's not going to be like those seductive, alluring compliments that makes you feel, you know, like you're trying to impress a mate or anything like that. But what it is, it's a fragrance that will define you. Say you wore this all the time. We've spoken saying this is a signature scent before. That's what it makes me feel like. If someone first smelt this on you, say you start a new job, and someone smells, you know, you wearing this, it'll almost become your personality. People will go, oh, he's the person who always smells nice. He always smells of this. And that's the sort of comments I think you'll get with this. It's not going to be, oh, he smells really attractive. You're just going to smell clean, presentable, and just, yeah, approachable more than anything. You're well put together. You look after yourself. And I think that is, in its own right, quite an attractive trait. And it's one that's going to get you compliments. It will make you memorable. It will make you stand out. And I think if we're talking about compliment factor here, it's one that's a great first impression scent. So again, networking events, job interviews, all those sorts of things, I think it's going to be an absolute winner. So I'm going to give this one, give it another 9.5. This is sounding really boring, but I am struggling to find really many faults with this as well. I'm nitpicking on certain things here. I just don't think it's a date night type scent, and that's the only reason I've marked it down by 0.5. Do I think it could do that though? If you wore this one, go for it. It's certainly not the worst in the world, and there'll be a lot worse. I wouldn't worry about it being divisive or anything like that. It's just, yeah, it's maybe more of a daytime wear than a nighttime wear, but it's a compliment getter. And of course, if we get any at the gym today, we will pump it up to a 10. I think it's got a good chance.
The workout done. Now, obviously, normally at this stage I'd be talking about having a shower, wouldn't I? Of course, because I'm getting my hair cut this afternoon, I'm just going to talk about projection now. It's literally just gone 12 o'clock. So, can I still smell saffron and orange flowers? 100%. Really, really nice. And I've got a buttermint in my mouth. Sometimes that overpowers the smell at times. But not this one. It's really nice. It's not overpowering. It didn't feel too wrong for the gym today. You know, when I was next to people on a treadmill or a weights machine, it never felt too strong, too overpowering. It just felt about right. And, you know, you didn't feel like, oh, I'm going to have to move because it's uncomfortable. Look, it's not the perfect gym fragrance. I'd like something a bit more aquatic probably, but it's fine. It does the job. And if you wanted a fragrance to do it all, this one would more than tick a box for that reason. So longevity is really good. I'm going to give it, because it definitely has worn off, it's about 40% strong. We'll go 7 out of 10. It's probably the lowest score I've given, but I think in general this will get you through the day. Of course, normally I'd rank this on having a shower as well. I think it would have been even lower after a shower. So that light floral just starting to show through a little bit. It's maybe not as strong as it originally was, but it's still more than enough. And on a cool sort of spring day, when you're going to wear this mainly, that's absolutely fine. So what we'll do, we'll head back before I have the haircut, count up all the scores, and I'll give my overall thoughts.
We are back, but I need to be super quick because it is 1:15. My haircut's at 1:20. It's only down the road, so it's fine. But it is time to now have a look back at the score that this one got. So Zara's Saffron and Orange Flowers. How did it do overall? What did it score? Probably the highest score I think I've maybe ever given, or certainly joined. 46.5 out of 50. Now look, is it my favourite fragrance that I've ever reviewed? Absolutely not. But this one is it's the perfect fragrance in my opinion. If you like light floral scents, one that can do a bit of everything for a good price. Let's be honest, we're talking £18 for 100ml. This is brilliant, and it's for me the real thing that I've absolutely loved on this today is just that projection. It's got the real balance between not being too overpowering, too cloying, too obnoxious, too in your face, too rebellious, and just not being too weak and forgettable. And that's what it isn't at all. It is a really nice sort of. I would say the orange is certainly more prominent than the saffron here. You do get a bit of that spice from it, but it's a nice, clean, approachable scent, and I just can't see why that can ever be wrong. I can't. It's impossible to try and find a fault. The only thing I've marked it down on a little bit is that longevity. Look, it's pretty strong. You know, I gave it a 7, and I'm now starting to question even if maybe I should have given it a little bit more. But obviously, I haven't had a shower. I was going to have a shower after my haircut, so maybe it would have potentially got 8 or 9. If I'd actually had a shower, who knows? Might have gone down. But it's been what 4.5 hours since I applied the fragrance base, or 4 hours. And it's lasting well. It's going to get you through a day. It's going to do all those jobs, and it's under £20. It smells modern. It smells classy, elegant. Men, women, dress up, dress down. It ticks every box. It's not a wow factor. I don't think it's got that wow factor about it. But sometimes with those wow factors, of course, you don't wear them for things like the gym. You don't wear them every day. And in the rounds I do, that would have been marked down. Let's be honest, they'd be a lot more expensive as well. So definitely recommend checking this one out. This is a really good release by Zara. Zara sometimes do some silly gimmicky type fragrances. This is not gimmicky at all. This just smells like it could be up there with an Acqua di Parma, a Gucci. It could be a clone of any of those sort of brands, Prada. It really does fill that void, and it's great. It's a super lovely bottle as well. I love the magnetic lid. It makes me feel like they know they've got a good scent here, and they've really taken care. They've gone up. They've stepped up in a bit of classiness and sophistication, and I really think you should check that one out. Certainly, if you can get 2 bottles. I find it weird that they do 200ml in the same pack, but definitely worth a look. Because let's be honest, Zara don't always keep these sorts of scents. So please check this one out, men, women. It ticks so many boxes, and I'm very glad my brother's got it. And I probably should go put it back, but I might get it myself soon as well. Treat myself. Found £2 on my walk today, so just £16 more I've got to find. But yeah, thanks for watching. Time to get this haircut. Catch you later. And the hair has gone. I reckon I've lost about £3 in weight as well. There was so much, so curly. I do love my afro, but this is so much easier, especially now because I can wear a hat and it doesn't have to push off the top of my head.